Hello, my name is Derek Ikawa. I'm the roasting educator at Mill City Roasters in Northeast Minneapolis. We're at my home in Northeast Minneapolis, and I'm going to do some home roasting on the Ikawa. I have the Ikawa right here in front of me, and I've already set up my little roasting station. And basically, what we're going to do is I'm going to work with one profile. I've downloaded a profile onto my phone that I'm going to use and send to the Ikawa, and it's Tony Quiro's SCA lecture profile. Tony Quiro is the head roaster at Spy House, which is actually only about a mile from where I live in Northeast Minneapolis. So it's kind of keeping it local. So it's kind of fun. I'm going to actually use a couple different coffees, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I'm going to use that one profile, and then I'm going to create variants of the profile based on kind of changing parameters of the roast. And then you can just kind of enjoy this whole process with me. All right, thank you. Okay, this is the first green we're going to focus on. This is a Columbia. It's a regional select Cauca. It's a wash coffee, and we just got it at Mill City Roasters around 2 to 3 weeks ago. We're also going to use another Columbia that's actually an EA Decaf Decana from the Wheeler region. Both these coffees I've sourced from Cafe Imports right down the street from us. They're both Colombians from different regions, different processes. We also broke these bags down and we resell them as 10-pound bags on our website if any of you are interested in them. So I've dosed them both to 50 grams. We're going to do 50-gram roasts in this profile, and then I also will measure the roasted weight out so we can kind of look at that for development and moisture loss. Okay, well I think we're ready to roast, so I'm going to start the warm-up process for the Ikawa, and then we can get at it. Okay, so that'll wrap up today. So we have all these coffees roasted. We're gonna let them rest overnight, and I'm just gonna leave them open overnight for resting. And then tomorrow, we're gonna brew every roast, I guess we call it, every process roast. So 6 different coffees to brew. We'll brew in multiple brew methods. Maybe we'll only use 2 brew methods per coffee, so 12 brews. It's kind of a lot for one day, but we'll try. And if any of you all want to suggest any kind of brew methods on Instagram or anything like that, any of the brew methods behind me, we can use that. It's all home brew methods, and I don't have a fancy espresso machine, but I have quite a few brew methods. So tomorrow will just be a brew off. We'll brew all these coffees, we'll talk about the roast profiles, and we'll kind of talk about the final cup a little bit. And probably a little bit about the brew method and how it lends itself to that final cup. All right, we'll tune in tomorrow for a Northeast Minneapolis from my home brew day. All right, have a good night. Hello, my name is Derek Ikawa from Mill City Roasters, and we're back for day 2 of our Ikawa roasting session. Today we're going to do an evaluation of the roast we did yesterday. So yesterday we did 3 different roasts with 2 different coffees, both Colombians. One was a washed Cauca, and the other one was a decaf Wheeler, EA decaf. So that's pretty exciting. So we have those coffees that we roasted yesterday that we were going to taste today. Yesterday I said that we were going to do brew methods, like different home brew methods with the roasts and trying to evaluate them that way. Thinking about it overnight, I kind of thought I got a little ahead of myself. I think we should actually do a classic kind of SCA cupping of these coffees first, so I can really kind of, get more accuracy with the actual cups. And then from that'll lend us to the qualities of cup that we could then utilize for best practices in different brew methods. So I'm thinking that's gonna be our plan. We'll do the brew methods next week with these roasts. But today I'm going to do the cupping of them all, and we'll put the results out for the cuppings, and we'll have it really simply. I'm going to do it simplified results. It'll be body, sweetness, acidity, and maybe 1 or 2 flavor notes, and that's going to be it. I'm going to use the SCA cupping form just because that's the way I've been trained and that's what I use, but we won't be using the results from that form, and in no way do I want to think of this as a competition. And this is going to lend me into the talk of the actual specifics around these profiles. Now speaking to the specifics of the profile, basically, I have a little note here because I can't remember all this. So the first profile, we'll call it Profile 1, is the Tony Q SCA lecture series that I got off the Ikawa online library. I specifically chose this profile, one, because I know Tony and he's local, but also because I ran a bunch of different profiles on the Ikawa, and I really liked the way that his profile ran. And to be honest, it was a little bit about the low airflow, I want to say, that he was using in the beginning phase of the profile. I really like that. So that was the profile I chose. So that's Profile 1. Profile 2, I'm calling Tony Q Derek D Variant 5 version 2. I know it's kind of complex. Basically what I do with this profile is the first set point from the exhaust temperature. I took 45 seconds away, so I shortened up that set point by 45 seconds, and I added 10 degrees Celsius to the first set point in exhaust. And then the third set point, the last set point, I added 45 seconds to that. Really what I was trying to do was extend the overall roast, but also move the dry phase a little quicker and extend the mid phase. So that's the plan on that one. Profile 3, I'm calling Tony Q Derek D Variant 6. And it's basically the previous profile, Profile 2, with static airflow. So I averaged Tony's airflow over the roast, not in time, but in rate. His highest, I think, was 90 or something like that, and the lowest was something like 60. Well, whatever it was, the average was 72. So I set all set points of airflow to 72. So that roast ran at a 72 airflow. And that'll be the 3 profiles that we're gonna cup today. Okay, and speaking to the profiles too, I just want to talk about this a little bit. So one thing that I really like about the Ikawa that I'm kind of really getting into is when I think of this profile, like Tony Q's SCA Lecture Series profile, I think of that almost like as a master track, like the really great music hit that everyone just loves. And so I'm going in there because I also love it, and I'm just going to deviate a few of the qualities of the track to change it and to add my style as a coffee roaster into it. So I'm thinking of my variants of Tony Q's profile as remixes. I really respect Tony as a roaster. I think he does great. I like the profile, the way it runs. So that's why I'm utilizing it as my base profile. And all I'm doing is doing remixes of his profile. So no way am I trying to make a better profile or trying to fix a profile. It doesn't need to be fixed and it doesn't need to be better. I'm just trying to input my style with Tony's style. So this is kind of a neat, almost like a remix like that a musician might do. So that's what's kind of neat about the Ikawa. And just to kind of do a teaser, when we end this, we're going to do a pairing with each flavor profile that we come up with the roasts to a different donut. So Friday is a little bit more about fun, so we're going to do a donut pairing to every roast. And that'll be the day's plan. All right, we'll see you guys a little bit later. I'm going to do my cupping, and then we can reconnect after. Okay, everybody, now we've come down to the most exciting part of the day for me. I know, hopefully you all are excited about this too, and it's actually the pairing. So we're gonna pair the donuts with the roast profiles. So I actually sourced out more donuts than I needed, more types of donuts, and so I've narrowed down the selection to 6 donuts, and we're gonna pair 6 donuts with 6 profiles. So let's start with the donuts. So right over here, we have our kind of classic lemon Bismarck. So raised, filled with lemon custard. Now here we have something kind of special. It's called the mini Springle. It's another raised, but it's filled with a house-made strawberry rhubarb jelly. So it's kind of our Minnesota spring donut that they do at Sarah Jane's. Here is my personal favorite, the Crunch Holes. Oh man, they do great crunch at Sarah Jane's. Here we have the double chocolate cake, classic chocolate cake with chocolate frosting, if you're into chocolate. Here is my personal favorite, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich with house-made raspberry jam donut. Oh my gosh, that's a meal in a donut. And then, of course, everyone's favorite, the classic cake. So let's get to the pairing. Let's start with number 1. So number 1, we're gonna pair with the mini Springle. So I paired the mini Springle strawberry rhubarb filling with this coffee specifically because of the acidic citrus apple flavors. This is the brighter of the Colombians, and I think that'll pair really well with this kind of floral filling in this donut. Plus, I think the acidity and sweetness of these two will play off each other and create more nuance. So I think that'd be a nice, lovely pair. Okay, so now for number 2, I paired number 2 with Crunch Holes. So crunch holes have a kind of spicy richness. It's a richer cake donut. So I paired that with the balanced sweetness of coffee number 2. All right, so now we're moving on to coffee number 3. Coffee number 3 got paired with the peanut butter and jelly raspberry filled donut. So this is a super fatty donut, and this was the most acidic, out of balance coffee. So that's kind of a classic pairing in wine. You pair acidic wines with fatty foods, and then the fat kills the acidity. So these two together should create more balance, and there's probably gonna be the least amount of nuance in your mouth. So it might be kind of nice, just sweet, yummy nuttiness. All right, now let's move on to number 4 decaf. So number 4 decaf got the lemon Bismarck. So lemon Bismarck for that one. So lemon Bismarck, I paired with the bright, nuanced, clean quality of that decaf. So lemon Bismarck is going to be citrusy, but it's also going to be kind of fatty and rich. So I think the clean, citrusy notes of this decaf would pair really well with those. Kind of each would show each other really well. All right, number 5 is going to be the chocolate cake. So chocolate cake for an almond dark chocolate party, I'm calling it. This is the more balanced of the decafs with a lot of nutty chocolate notes going on. So we're just going to quadruple down on chocolate and just have a chocolate party. And that means for the last one, which is kind of neat, we have the classic cake with the bright, clean, kind of grapefruit almond qualities of this decaf. I was really surprised by the quality of this decaf or the way it cupped. I really liked it. It actually didn't taste like a decaf, and so I'm pairing it with the cake because I feel like the cake donut is going to do the least amount of damage to the flavor profile of the coffee. So it's really going to show this coffee in the greatest coffee light. So, all right, that's the pairing. So I think this went really well. I'm really excited about this. Thanks to everyone that participated. Thanks to my sister Natalie. She's been behind the camera the whole weekend doing all the hard work. Next week, we're still going to keep this going, and we're going to do the brew methods. So feel free to send in suggested brew methods throughout the weekend that we want to work on next week. We already have a suggestion for the AeroPress, so we're definitely going to do AeroPress next week. And I'm going to try and find my vacuum pot because I've actually lost it, so that should be available too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment. Thanks to Ikawa for letting us kind of feature the Ikawa roaster. Thanks to Sarah Janes, and definitely thanks to Mill City Roasters for letting us work from home and do really cool, fun content. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and peace out.